Welcome everyone, I am Pease Del Ruiz. You are listening to and perhaps watching Hot Sots Sports. I hope everyone's doing well. The glorious return to studio is now complete. I didn't realize our new background is black, and so therefore I really washed into the background. Terry, you are Master Shredder.
I was born in the darkness.
Bane, nice. I like the Mr. Peanuts version of Bane. That's pretty good.
You said Master Shredder.
Yeah.
Master Shredder. What line was Master Shredder say? I hate turtles.
Yes. Both the chocolates and the ninja teenage variety. I saw that actually was a meme this week. I saw it was like, Master Shredder fought Ninja Turtles for 15 years wearing that mask, and you can't wear it to Walmart for 20 minutes. I enjoyed that thoroughly. Eagle at Master Control, he is in the house.
I like the new setup we got going on here.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It feels...
People can see my oversized iced coffee.
They are not a sponsor. I would appreciate if you turn it until they give us money.
There you go.
Starbucks, we will take all the bucks.
You know what I like doing?
What?
Oopsing and
I mean, no, this is a real set. It's not a green sea.
But we should start putting like dildos everywhere.
Yes.
Here, you know.
actually dildos so they disappear.
Can we get dildos as a sponsor, and then we have no choice?
See why not?
Yeah.
I'm gonna email Manscaped, and then email a sex shop. You know what? Maybe a sex shop would do it. Maybe like a Pink Cherry. You ever heard of that website? It's a Canadian website that sells sex toys.
I didn't know that, but now I will order some.
Yeah, so let's do it, man. Pink Cherry, hit us up.
Yeah,
so
I can't wait for us to have like a discount code in a sex shop.
So in order for
Pease and Terry, you get 10% off your dildo.
So in order for this to continue happening, and for us to not want to kill each other, we need to start making some money. So sponsors.
This could be you. This could be your dildo sponsors. McDonald's, this could be your dildo.
Your logo can be right here somehow.
Starbucks, send us some dildos.
Yeah.
Whoever has dildos, we will sell them.
Starbucks, I think I'll just take like a $100 gift card.
That'd be fine.
Yeah.
That'd be fine.
I'd be good with Starbucks gift card.
We'll treat each other to date nights, Terry, you and I. Socially distanced
Get a
date
banana
nights.
bread and an Americano.
Yeah. So we're going with a little bit of a different format. We have some news coming up soon with some new shows and stuff like that. But for now, the main thing is the main show will have the three of us. Duke will join on and off, and we will have more and more of our writers calling it the studio.
Yeah.
It's something we had planned to do kind of before COVID, and then now that we're back in studio, we can actually start moving forward with our typical content. COVID's still affecting sports largely. The Ivy League and the NCAA canceled play. I think it's specifically because there are schools in our states that are going to be mandating stay-at-home policies.
Yeah.
And so we all know that the NCAA is a gluttonous whore.
Yes.
But it would be exceptionally obvious if students weren't in the building and they had just unpaid athletes making money for the university.
Imagine that. And Ivy Leagues, I mean, balls on them. No classes, right? So online classes.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get at least Harvard did this. Harvard,
Princeton as well, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, did not lower their tuition fees.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, if you're a freshman at Harvard, you're happy. You're like, I can easily squeeze through my first year, which is probably your hardest, squeeze through my first year with like little supervision.
And
I mean, we all have Netflix, right? Someone is paying for our Netflix subscription, or you're paying for it. It's like $10
I'm the
a
sucker,
month, right?
yeah.
So it's like
$16.99, I'm the sucker.
I'm the sucker of 4 screens. Yeah.
It's $120 for your streaming service.
Yeah.
Imagine if your streaming service costed you $50,000 or the life of a Harvard student for next semester.
For 1 year.
But you know what? Though, but Eagle, to be honest,
1 semester.
For someone who's paying to go to an Ivy League school, a lot of Ivy League schools mandate that in your freshman year you have to live on campus.
Yeah.
And so this saves them from having to live on
campus.
So it actually it's the cheapest time it's ever been to go to an Ivy League school.
But isn't it cheaper to stay on campus in a dorm than to rent your own apartment?
Yeah, but you can live with your parents.
Across
the country.
if you're from Boston or whatever.
Yeah, like let's say you're a Montrealer, for example, who's going to Harvard.
Yeah.
You can do so and save on the cost.
Let's be honest. If you live in Boston, you're not going to Harvard.
I mean, depends on what part of Boston you're from.
True.
Yeah, they try
calling people from Boston stupid.
Would they,
In case you didn't get the joke, Keys.
I did get it.
At least Jack Edwards is.
I was gonna follow up and say that typically Harvard wants you to not be racist before you apply, so therefore most Bostonians.
Well, the Harvard
would
does
not
this
fit in.
thing where if they don't have enough white people, then you're not getting in.
I actually visited the campus.
Wait, you're saying they have a ratio?
It's
They
basically
need to have a minimum amount of white people.
It's a it's a reverse affirmative action against Asian people because there was way too many Asians now. So yeah, so yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
It's true. No, it's true.
I was in Boston this.
We'll get
past,
John to check that.
Yeah.
We have a member of our podcast who will be joining us now and again, who is going to fact check Terry and I.
Yeah.
More on that next week. Eagle, you were saying?
So I was in Boston back in February when I did my NerdCon, also known as PAX East.
Yes.
And so I did a tour of Harvard, and actually they're one of the more progressive universities or like Ivy League schools in terms of mixing genders, which was a big thing back in the day, admitting students. They actually have a pretty big program for financial aid for people who can't afford it.
Oh, no,
So
yeah, for
they
sure.
actually,
Yeah.
out of all the Ivy League schools, they're probably one of the better ones to go to.
But what
Now-
they're saying is that you can't be. They're trying to limit the amount of people from China coming here because they're overrun with Chinese immigrants being like Chinese international students.
jack up their fees.
I don't. Well, they do.
They do.
Already.
But jack them up even more.
And
But
we'll
it doesn't
get
matter. They have an infinite amount.
we'll get to the president's misunderstanding of the economics of education later in the show. But I was gonna say, like, big deal, Harvard. Like you're talking about mixing genders. I've been mixing genders since I was 17.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
So there's that. Maybe I'm progressive. We also have a return to
Auto
play.
insurance.
We have a return to play plan from the NHL. I'm actually excited for noon NHL games. Is it just me?
I'm excited for 12 hours of NHL a day.
Yeah. Just but you don't even need to watch intently. Like, just have it on your screen. Like,
Yeah, well, that's pretty much what I'm going to
I'm
do.
ordering another TV just to have two screens going all the
So
time.
I actually thought of this. I just sold my second TV.
Oh,
And I'm fucking pissed. But what I will do is I will be sitting on my couch, watching hockey all day, tweeting, blogging, talking shit to people. All day.
Absolutely.
12
absolutely.
hours.
You can
At
log
me.
in on your computer and watch on Sportsnet or anything.
On your phone as well?
That's if you have to. Oh, yeah, if you have the channel. Yeah. Check it.
The
No, but it's all going to be in the same
Eagle's a
channel.
sucker.
You don't need two TVs. It's all going to be in the same channel because they're
Yeah.
playing every 2 hours.
yeah, but I'm saying if you want to because at one point you can have
Overtime?
hockey and basketball.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But the other thing is, I can't help but look at the return to action from all the sports and can't help but think, my God, Major League Baseball owners are the worst. They had a chance to own the market.
They did.
And by their own greed, so they expected employees to take a pay cut while not disclosing how much profit they make with them during collective bargaining agreements, after raking them over the coals in the last collective bargaining agreement, and then saying, oh, you know what, it's because of our greedy players that baseball's not back.
But it can't be greedy when they're saying we want to play. We do not. We just want to get paid what you told us you were going to pay us.
It's the agreement that we have in writing.
Twice, and they changed their agreement to get prorated. So I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. Now the NHL, the only thing they did wrong, I find, is that they took too long to choose hub cities. They had chosen. This could have been. We could have been in phase 3 right now. We're still in phase 2, and.
But overall, like, it's a minor issue. Like, it's just they're going to be
not
competing with the
really.
NHL, with the NBA, and all that.
Not really when Toronto and Edmonton are your cities. If they had done this sooner, then maybe they would have been able to get Montreal or, Vancouver. I don't know.
I have a feeling that the Quebec has some pretty oppressed. First of all, Montreal is still the hub of disease in Canada.
Yeah, Legault wouldn't allow it.
Yeah, and like the other thing is,
And here we are, social distancing at its
yeah,
peak,
we're being
really.
responsible.
Give me props here. Show
Hot,
everybody we're
hot
social
sauce
distancing.
distance.
See, we have to reach.
Yeah. Well, although that's no longer social distancing.
It's a very good point. See, we just broke the law.
We need to wash our hands immediately.
What did I tell you about giving him a reach around?
And with that, it's time for the news.
I'm immune to it. It doesn't even bother me anymore.
Secretly, it does.
It doesn't even bother me anymore. I'm immune to this shit.
Terry, it's the news. How's it going, buddy?
Good, man.
It's not going as well for you as it's going for Pat Mahomes, who signed for $500
fuck.
million. There's some cool
Good for
stuff in
him.
this, though. Like, I'm kind of
Good for him.
geeky when it comes to contracts. I have to say, it's the first time an NFL quarterback in the modern era wins a Super Bowl MVP, and a league MVP
In 2 seasons.
in his first, because it's his third season, but basically he played for 2 seasons.
No, but he won the MVP last year. He didn't win it this year. the year before. Sorry.
Within his first 2 years, he's won.
Exactly.
He's won both. So it's impressive. The thing is, every next quarterback to get a contract is the next highest paid quarterback. Right?
I don't think we're gonna see what Pat Mahomes is getting for a while, unless because the only person I can see probably getting that money is Lamar Jackson if he wins a Super Bowl.
Well, but unless Joe Burrow comes out
maybe, but that's what I'm saying. We're not going to see it for another at least 5-6 years.
We might not
minimum.
What's interesting about this is if you know a little bit about how the Kansas City Chiefs built their team. They specifically don't spend money on a lot of positions that a lot of other teams spend money on.
Yeah.
They typically don't spend money on wide receivers. I don't expect Tyreek Hill to last long because they'll just draft another speedy guy to fit the system. They don't spend money on running backs because we just saw a guy who couldn't make the Miami Dolphins, who should have been the Super Bowl MVP, and Damian Williams. And they've built a contract where, first of all, they're expecting...
Are they going to pay Tyreek Hill?
I don't think they will. They don't.
You think they'll let him go?
They don't typically. The Andy Reid system is not that where they re-sign skill position players outside of quarterback.
And I don't know when Tyreek Hill's contract is up. Good thing we needed a stat guy. I don't know when Tyreek Hill's contract is up, but I feel like when it is up, people are going to be like, oh, he's starting to regress. They're going to make excuses.
Yeah, and then maybe
McCall
Hardman is the next guy to fill that role on the offense, right?
Or Hardman's a great receiver.
Or the next insanely fast guy that they find in the draft. The other thing is that Pat Mahomes, the contract is actually really interesting because, first of all, they expect the cap to go up. Over the next few years.
Yeah.
COVID might actually affect it. We actually might not see the same kind of growth that we thought we were going to see. But let's just say right now it's based on what the projections of the cap were heading into the season before COVID.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing is that, yes, in his fifth year, he has a $60 million cap hit, which everyone is talking about. He also has the ability to renegotiate his contract. So if they go to him and say, listen, Pat, do you want to have a competitive team? Do you want to win another Super Bowl because you're already rich as balls?
We can get...
If so... Let's rework your contract so we can bring on some other talent.
We can get Tyreek Hill for an additional. We can keep Tyreek Hill for an additional $5 million.
Or whatever offensive lineman or whatever it is that they're prioritizing, right?
What do you want?
I have a hot take.
Oh, sure.
I don't think it's enough money. I think that 5 years in, he's going to come back and potentially even be asking for 50% or double the amount per season at that point. Because if you think about it, I'm gonna use an example.
That's if he starts repeating his productivity that he's had.
Tom Brady, just to get an idea, right? Other than his entry-level deal, because who cares? His first contract was a 4-year deal, $30 million. So it came out to
Tom Brady's a bad example though because he kept taking pay cuts, but
he took a lot of pay cuts and a lot of envelopes.
He signed long-term deals at $10-15 million, right? That's in 2002. In 2012, his contract is suddenly worth 3 years, $41 million, and in 2020, his contract is worth like $50 million or whatever it is, right? So in a 3, 4, 5 year span, the contracts are going crazy, especially in the quarterback market. So if you're Mahomes, I think come year 5, year 6, you're negotiating for way more money at that point than you actually have signed and agreed to right now.
So what? Okay, so he's able to renegotiate, but what if they just say no? What happens? Can he hold out?
Well, no, he's the only one who can opt out.
Okay, he's the only one that can opt out.
It's interesting because you don't often see this in the NFL.
He's going to be such a great quarterback for Cowboys in 6 years.
You hope so, right? Yeah. Honestly, in terms of advanced metrics, he is by far, like kind of what we were talking about with Aaron Rodgers when he was young.
Yeah.
In terms of his mobility, his ability to make all the throws, his precision. He is, sadly, Eagle, unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers is not quite what he used to be, although still a great quarterback. But Pat Mahomes seems to be the next best quarterback of that build. And the thing I keep seeing on Twitter, and I know Twitter is the worst place on earth, but I keep seeing people like, $500 million for one Super Bowl. Well, all contracts are based on previous accomplishments,
services
right?
rendered. Yeah.
So
we just had a poll. On Hot Sauce Sports. It was with the worst contracts in NFL history.
The only answer to that could be Brock Osweiler, by the way.
It's tough because
it has to be him because
the
other ones had the past to justify the contract.
I understand, but it's not.
Osweiler
always.
never had the past. He was replaced by a terrible Peyton Manning.
But it's not always services rendered. It's also potential.
But
he showed a lot of potential. But they were not the only team to offer him a lot of money.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah,
I understand.
So the potential was there. He might have just given up.
I'm saying that the way contracts are typically handled in professional sports is you're usually paid for, let's say like 70% of it is what you've done and 30% is what we hope you can do again.
Yeah, exactly. But Brock Osweiler's case, he came off the bench, did well, and then they're like, okay, this guy might be the guy for the future.
I mean, but we
don't want to lose him, so let's offer him this.
We also saw Peyton Manning in a wheelchair win a Super Bowl that season, looking like basically a gym teacher in high, the high shorts that the gym teachers wear, where like back in the day their balls used to hang out and like we didn't call the cops because we didn't know we could.
Yeah.
But that's what he looked like in that final season. He looked like his balls were hanging out of his shorts.
That's a very good point.
And that won the Super Bowl. So maybe like again, anybody with a sense of foresight says, maybe it wasn't Brock Osweiler who won the Super Bowl, but yet people keep getting paid on wins and losses, not their contributions to their team. Well, so especially in these elite positions like quarterback.
So the thing is that, like, back to the point is that Joe Flacco got services rendered. Albert Hainsworth, services rendered. We had Jay Cutler there. There was a lot of potential. But he had one last great season with Denver before he resigned.
Exactly, he threw like 4 interceptions all season.
He was really peaking. Maybe we should have put Jake Cutler's Miami contract as one of the worst contracts.
Jesus
ever.
Christ,
yeah, that was bad. $10 million for a year, especially when you could have got.
That was like, I remember we used to get.
It was at the time of Kaepernick.
We used to get into the Kaepernick argument. I was like, you can't tell me that.
I couldn't justify
this version of Jay Cutler is worth twice the contract that you would give Colin Kaepernick.
The only justification I was able to have was because whoever the coach was back then had coached him.
Adam Gase
in another system. So I was like, it was Adam Gase. You're right. At another system. So I'm like, okay, only justification. Now, signing him is the justification. The money that they gave him was fucking beyond me.
And the worst is, Adam Gase turns quarterbacks into the most boring thing in the world.
Yeah.
Because I'd honestly, if my team's gonna suck, give me Jameis Winston ripping balls into linebackers' chests.
Of course.
Don't give me 3.5 yard slants and drags and like a system that's so precise that if there's one drop pass, it's a guaranteed punt. Because you can't gain more than 4 yards on a single play.
Do you think, I just thought of a conspiracy theory, do you think that Jameis Winston signed with the Saints so he can sabotage Drew Brees and take his job?
No, I think what it is that he was so blind that he couldn't tell what team he was signing for. Didn't know what the quarterbacks were there.
That's a very good point.
That's how bad his eyesight is. Desean Jackson was blind in that he couldn't read the room with some of his takes this week. I'm going to start with, if you quote Adolf Hitler,
there you go.
It's probably a bad start.
So I know what he's talking about, and I've actually read a lot about the Black Israelites, and
it's also
they're also very anti-Semitic.
It's also a false quote that
it's a false quote. It's not real.
If you look it up in about 8 seconds on the internet, you find out that
fake news.
It's not only a false quote, but it's a false quote that's often used by people who are anti-Semitic to justify Adolf Hitler's actions, and it's kind of the worst decision ever made. Well,
it's not the worst decision. Oh, you have it or what?
Let's get his apology on up here.
I've been getting a lot of backlash and feedback from an Instagram post that I put on my Instagram story. I just want to first off extend an apology on the behalf of me and what I stand for, because I'm one that's fair, and I never want to put any race down or any people down. And my post was definitely not intended for anybody of any race to feel any type of way, especially the Jewish community. When I posted what I posted, I definitely didn't mean it to the extent that you guys took it, and I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm, very apologetic, and I just want you guys to understand that it never was intended to be, to put any race down or any religion down. I post things on my story all the time, and I just probably shouldn't have never posted anything that Hitler did, because Hitler was a bad person, and I know that. And I was just trying to uplift, African Americans and slavery, and just enlighten my people. So on behalf of myself, I just want to let you guys know I apologize. I didn't
imagine intend, Jake Fromm.
Any harm or any hatred towards any people. I'm for one. I'm for
okay,
love.
That's cool, Eagle. So imagine Jake Fromm. Imagine Jake Fromm. Imagine Jake Fromm does the same thing, but with a quote from Trump.
Yeah. I mean, there's differences. So like
a fake quote from Trump.
You can dislike Donald Trump. Depending on what we learn about Ghislaine Maxwell's arrest and what we learned about the Clintons.
Oh, you mean
about Bill Clinton and Donald Trump?
Her eventual suicide? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Before she gets murdered and it gets called a suicide. And if any news comes out,
she's already been diagnosed with COVID, so they're
No
setting it
way.
up.
No way.
Yeah.
They're so fucking.
it's the worst.
How transparent is it?
It's
man?
pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
It's like I love the meme. It was Hillary Clinton's like she calls it a suicide line. She's laughing and it's like I got another one.
That's awful. That's awful.
It's fucking bad.
But
man.
so like
it's so she's gonna die.
for the most part,
She's gonna die. She must know she's gonna die. Ask her. Ask me anything. She should do an Ask Me Anything on Reddit right now. Do you think you're gonna die? Yeah.
well, I think so. Here's the thing, and we'll just sidetrack for a second. I think that she already has a plea agreement in place, and she's already talked to the FBI because it doesn't make sense it took this long to arrest her.
It doesn't matter because if they don't put her on trial,
Exactly. Yeah.
she'll never make it to court. She's done, man.
But they'll have a whole bunch of potential evidence to continue investigation. It's just their word against hers, but then they can keep investigating.
Okay, so whoever doesn't know who Ghislaine Maxwell is, she's Theo Epstein's like right hand man, basically.
Not Theo Epstein.
Theo. Sorry, Theo Epstein. Very sorry. What's his name?
Although you
Jeffrey Epstein.
the man who didn't kill himself.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, and the worst is like the evidence is so blatant where they have videotapes on CD-ROM where it says young girl's name times celebrity name.
It's crazy.
Like it was meant as a blackmail scheme. Like
Yeah.
they had built up a blackmail
Like he had
scheme.
cameras all over his house. You saw the show, right?
Yeah.
They were
That
so
was
good at
crazy.
it, they have Terry's actual name on the tape.
Oh fuck! My government. My government. It takes the entire tape.
So yeah, so the thing is with regards to that though, like, hey, let's get back to the Desean Jackson. I feel like we're not doing a whole Jeffrey Epstein episode, though we can.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't spent enough time talking about Hitler and insulting the Jews, so clearly let's spend time talking about Epstein and molesting young girls.
How about let's next topic?
No. Let's. I just want to get to this Eagle instead of the Steven Jackson quote. We'll just talk about Steven Jackson while you're queuing this up.
Okay, so Steven
get the Edelman comment ready. We'll air that one instead of.
So Steven Jackson is like, what an opportunity to kind of take a backseat and be like, listen, we all need to be together, whatever. But he's like going fucking head onto this without even knowing what he's talking about.
I don't understand.
How? What are you thinking, man?
Is it just
Desean Jackson? Okay, stupid for doing that. Whatever. He apologizes. It's over. Drew Brees says what he said. He apologized. It's pretty much over.
Because if you make one comment generally and you apologize, generally you'll be forgiven. Because a comment, most comments don't legitimately hurt people, right?
Yeah.
So if you can take it back and you can show remorse and contrition,
except when your brother gives me shit in our group chat.
Yeah, that's different.
That hurts my feelings.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you are willing to apologize, usually you'll be forgiven. And Desean Jackson did that. And you know what? It's a fine apology. He seems that. I mean,
I feel like the way I understood it, it didn't seem fake. It felt like he's like, listen, he feels stupid.
He just didn't think it would get out of hand. He feels stupid.
Yeah, he feels dumb for letting it. For not knowing what he was posting. Maybe so what happens is when you become so passionate about something, about anything, you start speeding up your way of doing it, right? You don't check your blind spots.
Yeah.
You start doing these things. So the movement is going so fast right now that a lot of people, I think right now Desean Jackson's the only one, is coming out and saying, making a mistake like this, it shouldn't derail everything.
Well, I mean, you have Kanye West saying slavery is a choice. You have Terry Crews so working actively against the cause, which
Terry
is bizarre.
Crews is he's throwing me off, man.
It's weird.
I don't have him on Twitter, but there's a lot of people that like him and stuff on Twitter. I'm gonna follow him. I think just so I'm curious. But Kanye West, the slavery thing, he did say. But Kanye West also admitted like he's a diagnosed bipolar.
Yeah,
he goes on crazy rants. Now he's going after Michael Rappaport for some reason.
Yeah.
Did you know George Bush doesn't like black people? Because Mike Myers found out on live TV.
Remember that? Remember that? And what did George Bush do? He didn't start the tornado, the hurricane, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like, holy fuck.
Yeah, but that's the thing, and I mean, if you think it's not possible that Desean Jackson didn't realize what he was doing, let's remember this is the guy who dropped the ball at the 1 yard line instead of scoring a touchdown. So there's that. It is consistent with his personality. Eagle, let's see what Julian Edelman had to say. I actually haven't even seen this because it kind of broke as we're heading to the show.
I haven't watched it either, so we're being surprised together.
Hopefully, it's not terribly racist.
Asked me about this Desean Jackson post, and I wanted to take some time before I responded because it's a complicated issue, and I wanted to be thoughtful. I wrote down some of my thinking. I've seen Desean play in his career, make outstanding football plays. We've communicated over social media. I've got nothing but respect for his game. I know he said some ugly things, but I do see an opportunity to have a conversation. I'm proud of my Jewish heritage.
Oh, no, it's Jem.
And for me, it's not just about religion. It's about community and culture as well. I'm unusual because I didn't identify as Jewish until later in my life.
Oh, there you go.
Whenever I encountered hatred, it never really...
Well, fucking producers.
I mean, okay.
Right when it was getting... So I'm an idiot for thinking that it said Jew on his hat, which I'm probably not alone with.
Yeah, it is not, actually.
But it would be so fitting if it said Jew.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been getting hit up by everyone asking me about until later in my life.
There you go. Leave it here. Don't fucking
Whenever
touch
I
it.
encountered hatred, it never really felt like it was aimed at me. It was only after I was part of this community that I learned how destructive hate is. Anti-Semitism is one of the oldest forms of hatred. It's rooted in ignorance and fear. I remember experiencing a little bit of this hate in 2011 when I was called a kike on the football field.
Oh.
There's no room for anti-Semitism in this world.
Prove it.
Even though we're talking about anti-Semitism, I don't want to distract from how important the Black Lives Matter movement is and how we need to stay behind it. I think the Black and Jewish communities have a lot of similarities. One unfortunate similarity is that they are both attacked by the ignorant and the hateful.
Yep.
It's really hard to see the challenges a community can face when you're not part of it. So what we need to do is we need to listen, we need to learn, we need to act. We need to have those uncomfortable conversations if we're going to have real change. So to that end, Desean, let's do a deal. How about we go to DC and I take you to the Holocaust Museum, and then you take me to the Museum of African American History and Culture. Afterwards, we grab some burgers and we have those uncomfortable conversations. This world needs a little more love, compassion, and empathy. Take care.
Well said.
Hey, it is, absolutely.
His publicist did a great job with that.
Well, yeah. So
Better
like,
than Drew Brees, that's for sure.
where you feel like it's actually a statement from a publicist is where he's unable to say the word similarity. He keeps saying similarity. Like it's you figure it's a word he's said before, right? So
Yeah,
it's bizarre.
just like I was watching Donald Trump's press conference today, and he his address to the nation. You can tell that when he's reading like those transparent teleprompters, and then he switches to the side just because it continued on that side, and the words that he would always say incredible, he fumbles them because he's actually reading them, you know. So it's so ungenuine when you're disingenuous when you.
My favorite is when he fucks up a word and then it like insists it's the right word he wanted to use and then tries it again.
Yeah.
Like oath and
Kofefe.
So, but like it's well spoken for sure, and I like that idea. Like, listen, let's just come together because again, so when I see people who misunderstand what Black Lives Matter is and go on and on about All Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter is an All Lives Matter movement. It's saying, hey, for the lives that don't already matter, they need to matter.
Yep. And
so it should include other minorities. That's how I've always understood. That's how people in the community who I've spoken to understand it. And so it's frustrating at times because then what happens is you see all over Twitter, people are like, well, how come people aren't jumping all over Desean Jackson? Well, A, they are. And B, it's also not okay. It also doesn't justify racism against anybody else. It doesn't say, well, he did it, so now we can go back to your regularly scheduled racism.
I was going to say, it almost flew under the radar, which is the funny part, because Mahome's contract came out at about the same time. So all the news was Mahome and everything. And then like 12 hours later, you're like, wait, what did DJ do?
So, I mean, it sucks. I mean, I'm happy that it only came out, but Desean Jackson, I think he handled it well. Fuck it. It's over.
I will say the one thing I was distracted by the whole
time.
Don't
go to the Holocaust Museum. Go to Auschwitz, and maybe that'll change your mind about what happened.
The thing is, I was very distracted because I was expecting after all this quarantine, Julian Edelman would have a proper apocalypse beard. What is that, man? What is that? Come on. Disappointed. Donald Trump has been weighing in sports teams and changing names, and I'm sure Eagles probably got some other topics as well.
I won't get into them. That's another.
There was
show
another
by
sports one
itself.
related though, and it was on our chat, and I forgot to put in the script, and I don't remember what it was. So
I will find it.
if it does come to your mind, if not,
sports related.
yeah.
I don't know.
So what I find interesting is
Are you talking about the Aboriginals that got the territory in Oklahoma now?
no.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Anywho's
So
Eskimos.
at the time, no, it's specifically Donald Trump and sports related, but I
But
can't.
we can
for
talk
the life
about
of
the
me remember
Eskimos.
those. But we can.
I don't think they should change their name.
We can start with this. So firstly, the thing is with Donald Trump, with President Donald Trump. I hate when the media just refers to him as Trump and Donald Trump. He is the United States president. So President Donald Trump has to not show any bias because it wasn't fair when they did that to Obama. It's not fair when they did it to Donald Trump.
He's right.
Now, the thing to notice is when the Kaepernick thing happened, and when LeBron James says things, he was the first to say stick to sports.
He doesn't go after LeBron. He hasn't.
He did. He did early on, and then realized it was a terrible
So
mistake.
it's like going after Taylor Swift.
Yeah, it doesn't
No,
work.
no.
It doesn't work. The Swifties are nasty. But with regards to Donald Trump, with President Donald Trump, he said he was one of the first ones to say stick to sports.
Yeah,
But isn't this not sticking to politics?
that's a very good point.
And
But you're
when
asking
he's
for
sa-
somebody to have a second thought about what he's about to say.
And so when he's saying teams should keep their names, because the thing is he's been weighing in saying, teams like the Rayskins shouldn't change their name, the Blackhawks shouldn't change their names, and so on and so forth.
What about the Connecticut Crackers? Is he going to be offended by that?
I would imagine he would be.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would imagine he would be.
That's a good name though. University of Connecticut Crackers,
Yeah, it wouldn't be bad.
and it's just like a wafer.
It would be accurate too.
Or like the Washington Trump bitches.
All right, Eagle.
That'd be a good name.
Stay over there.
Odd. That's
Trump bitches. Not even a thing.
yeah.
Not
No,
even a thing. Be a thing.
trumpets would have been the thing.
I'll pay him his royalties if I can call them the Trump bitches.
So that I found that to be particularly bizarre. But here's the other thing. So you're telling teams they should not change their name because of pressures from advertisers. Yeah. But then aren't you also telling advertisers what to do with their businesses? The way you're saying advertisers shouldn't tell businesses what to do with their businesses? it just seems bizarre.
It's a free market until you don't want it to be.
Exactly. But I don't think that advertisers should tell you what to do with it. But they
But
should
it's
be
their
like,
money.
if you don't do this, I'm leaving. That's not telling you what to do.
No, but-
that's just giving you the option.
But that's the thing. So when Target and Target was looking and FedEx was looking at pulling out their sponsorship.
Yeah.
People were like, "Oh, I hate it when companies tell me what to do." They're not telling you what to do.
They're not telling you
They're
what to
saying
do.
what they want to do with their own money.
And it's not like, I mean, everybody hates on Nike for trying to get off the Washington Redskins, like pulling all the Washington Redskins gear off their site because they have slave labor in Malaysia, whatever the fuck they do. They have their
The two things can be addressed separately. Also,
Yeah, exactly.
is another thing to think about.
You're not complaining about it while they're paying. While they're doing it, though, you're not complaining about all the shoes you bought at $125. But as soon as they decide to do whatever they want with their money, you're like, oh, but they have slave laborers. But
Yeah.
you buy the shit with the slave laborers.
Listen, I mean,
Everybody has something Nike. Everybody.
it's a complicated world. I'm currently wearing Nikes. I took off my Jordans to put them on.
I got Nike socks on. That's all I got.
I love Chick-fil-A.
Sucks.
I'm very conflicted by these things. I don't have answers for all of these things.
Chick-fil-A. I need some.
I also know that I can't afford the American-made New Balances because they're very expensive.
Not really. I got a pair of New Balances on right now.
No, but do you have the American-made New Balances?
What do you mean?
They have a line of American-made New Balances. They cost about $380 a pair.
Well, I
Canadian.
mean, maybe these were $380 at one point.
Yeah.
I have like 3 New Balances.
StockX.
Good shoes. No, my buddy's
No? Okay.
store. Sweet 100.
Nice. Get him to sponsor the show, Terry.
He is technically.
I know.
He gave us a discount on t-shirts.
I'm happy to do this. For the longest time, we haven't been able to do it properly. It's time for rapid fire.
Okay, now finally somebody competent. Can read
I'm
it.
actually happy with the titles I came up with. Full disclosure, I come up with the titles and write
Yes.
the stories, and Eagle will never have read them ahead of time and will make several mistakes.
That's what makes
go.
it fun. The rich get reliefier. Companies owned by Tom Brady and Floyd Mayweather among those to receive Paycheck Protection Loans, an economic device used by the U.S. government to help small businesses, I should put that in air quotes,
Yes.
survive shutdowns during the pandemic. We have not received a check in the mail.
Is
Thank
Amazon
you, US
considered a small
government.
business?
I know, seriously.
Is Amazon considered a small business?
I mean, the way they probably built the umbrellas and the conglomerates and everything, probably.
Probably. They have some sort of tax break there.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I keep saying Amazon Prime, the video streaming service, is basically tax relief for them.
I think that a lot of athletes have done the right thing with this pandemic. A lot of athletes. Like
here's
Jeff
the thing.
Petrie bought meals for I think 10,000 nurses or something.
But
nurses
here,
and doctors, so-
but how much do you think Floyd Mayweather is involved in day-to-day operations, or Tom Brady is involved in TB12? There's other people running the business, and
I feel like they get a sign off.
So here's my big question for you guys. If your owner is a billionaire, but your company hits the criteria that's eligible for a payout,
do what you gotta do.
You take the money.
If it's
right?
because look, who it's helping.
Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't
it would be stupid if you didn't.
But who it's helping above all else is the employees of that company retain their jobs.
But not only that, is that if you don't take it, it's just going to go to somebody else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you take it and you take money out of your pocket.
imagine-
and
but
you
imagine-
actually do more.
Yeah.
Imagine the story. There's two stories I want you to consider. One is the following headline. First is, what if the story is instead Tom Brady doesn't take relief and is forced to lay off 35% of his employees at TV12.
There you go.
The second story to think about is, oh yeah, by the way, steroids.
There you go. Yep. Next.
Eagle, that was the you need to come on, man, get on it.
That was hard to figure out.
Get on it. I literally lit on by saying two stories, knowing that the last one was gonna be the punchline.
Escrow your role. Michael Thomas called the NFL's latest escrow proposal a joke. The players don't entirely seem to be on the same page, as this prompted a response from Patrick Mahomes.
So you go ahead, Terry.
The billionaire.
Michael Thomas. is
No, half billionaire.
half billion.
I'm sorry, the half billionaire.
Michael Thomas needs to stop complaining.
Well, okay, so go ahead. I'll let you say your piece first.
Just stop complaining. I feel like every time there's something happens, he has to be there to complain. But he's complaining. He's not. There's nothing. Like he's not coming up with anything concrete. He's just complaining.
So I think this
All the
speaks.
time.
I think this speaks more to the culture of the NFL versus a league like the NBA or like the MLB, where the players seem to be united in a way they aren't in the NFL because of the disparity between those who earn well and those who don't. Michael Thomas is actually defending some of the players who earn less. So he has a point.
No, he does.
In this,
He does.
and it's just it's the wrong messenger in a sense. And this happens a lot with the NFL. For example, people didn't like Colin Kaepernick's message largely because of who he was, not the message itself.
Exactly.
And here is the same case. And I just laughed thinking it's a far cry from maybe about a year and a half ago. We kept touting Michael Thomas as the strong silent type, the silent superstar who never would say anything. Now he doesn't shut the fuck up. And here's the thing, I agree with him. But I'm just tired of Michael Thomas, and it's bigger than me. I can't do it. I agree with him, but I'm tired.
Exactly. I agree. In the same way, he has to say something.
I can't wait for the day players are going to be like picketing at the entrance gates or something, right? And players are trying to get into the locker room and they're like, boo, and throwing shit at them.
Then Shane Falco shows up and fucks everyone up.
Keanu Reeves looking better than ever.
Speaking of fucking people up, super necessary roughness. Jorge
Fuck,
Masvidal
that's a
seems
good one.
very confident about the upcoming fight, for which he only has 6 days to prepare.
Yeah.
There's a clip he recorded on a previous show on BT Sports 1, so we have about 38 seconds of him talking shit.
Let's go.
My
Does
favorite
it
thing
make it
about
easier
Masvidal.
preparing for a fight when there's animosity?
Definitely. A little bit sweeter, you know? Because there's just some guys in my life that I won't lose to under no circumstances. Usman's one of them.
How does this fight play out then, man? Talk me through it Saturday night.
I baptized his ass in front of the whole world. Public baptism, July 11th. That's what I'm inviting you. Not to a fight, but to a baptism. Change this man's life. I come in complete violence, but I'm going to leave his ass in peace, man. You watch.
He's the best. He's the best.
I love this guy, man.
I don't even care
He's
if he
classic.
loses. He's already won in my
And
mind.
you know what? No matter what now, the UFC's fucked. They're going to have to pay him big money, no matter what.
Yeah.
Because he saved them. He saved them so big. He saved them so big. They lost the fight, and it was such a big fight. I mean, the card's great, but he saved their fucking ass. And he probably said, if I'm doing this, we're going to have this conversation.
So-
Dana White, you
What
can
a
go fuck
great
yourself.
opportunity for Masvidal.
Yeah. Exactly.
not a
And
good,
of his
not a good
career. Of his career.
Not a good career. Look, Terry. I know you think it's gonna. I know what you think it's gonna be. Usman winning. I'm actually look.
I'm up in the air with it. I mean, in my blog I put that Usman. I thought he's gonna win. I think he's gonna win a split decision, which means that Masvidal is gonna win 2 rounds. Or at least one judge is gonna say that he won. I mean, it's tough. it's tough to say because I don't know what Masvidal's been doing. He's making weight, so I assume he's been training.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna disagree with what Eagle said based on it, even though it's the thing I wrote. He has been quote unquote only notified of this fight 6 days in advance. He knew there was a chance he would be fighting Usman. He looks, just based on the weight, he looks like he's ready.
A lot of guys do this though.
Yeah,
a lot of guys do this. Know that if they have a chance at the belt, they'll stay light so they can be able to make weight.
But it almost looks as though he's more ready for this than Usman because he knew there was a chance he'd be fighting Usman. Usman instead was not preparing to fight Masvidal.
But he's fighting the same kind of guy.
Okay,
Same kind of fighter.
Terry, hot sauce bet?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I got Masvidal.
Okay, I'll get Usman.
That didn't go up. There we go.
We heard it.
All right. Freaky Friday, catchy COVID. The NFL has disallowed post-game interactions, including jersey swaps. Meanwhile, they'll still be breathing and sweating and grabbing each other. But, hey, don't swap your jerseys.
So the offensive lineman that pancakes the defensive lineman and ends up spitting in his mouth is okay. But you can't take your jersey off and give it to somebody with a signature on it because why you're sharing a pen? I don't get it.
I don't know. To be honest, it makes no sense because at this point, if you're contaminated, you're both contaminated.
I guess they're trying to stop unnecessary contact, but at this point, you're already there.
I loved your description, Terry, because it was very sexual. Where my mind went immediately was, what if like two porn stars accidentally swap underwear after a scene? You can imagine how that would cause all sorts of problems. Maybe
that's amazing.
Yeah,
I wonder if a porn star has done that.
That'd be
yeah,
awesome. Actually, yeah.
At the end of a scene, they're like, "Hey," and they sign it. Oh man, that'd be amazing. Or they sign each other's.
Yo, how much money would they make on selling that? Someone's gonna pay.
Yeah. Oh, fucking big time.
Eagle would pay for it.
I mean, any of those suspects on Mindhunter I've been watching, those guys will buy it for sure.
Guys, what's in a name? The Washington name of team, of which Pease never pronounces and writes weird in scripts, have defended their name by drawing attention to other names they deem offensive and that have been cleared by the U.S. Patent Agency because clearly, if it's got a patent, it's good.
Show me these names.
I didn't see the list actually.
Eagle, mention the ones that aren't racist in the chat. Feel free to drop them in as Terry and I are debating. Look, the thing is, when it comes down to it's a symbolic gesture. It's literally the least thing you can do. I don't think it's something they necessarily have to do. Although I keep saying, if it's something that hurts people, why do you want to hurt people?
I think Redskins is just as bad as what the Cleveland Indians do. Mm-hmm. I don't think the Edmonton Eskimos should change their name because Eskimos.
Go ahead.
So the thing about the Edmonton Eskimos is that it's not a caricature. It isn't a caricature. Not only that is that there's no so there's the Inuk or the Eskimos from that region. So Eskimos are known to be like warriors and strong and all that stuff. So I don't see it as a bad thing, and it pays respect to that region.
And similarly with the Blackhawks, like I said, their background actually refers to a specific military regiment. Now. Definitely, although I've always loved the logo just because of how cool
one of the best jerseys in the NHL.
They can definitely change the logo.
I don't mind
keep
the
name.
I don't mind the logo.
I know
because it's not like the Cleveland Indians that it's a red face.
Yeah, and similarly, it's not
like a cartoon.
It's not goofy. It's a serious face, and like if you call Team Warriors and then you keep that logo, it's the same issue. Yeah. Eagle, drop some names.
So I'm gonna skip a few of them because that's a big one.
Use some judgment, please.
Dago Swag, apparently Dago Swag. I'm sorry. Yeah.
All right.
Kraka As Skateboards.
What is this? Companies?
Yeah. These are trademarks
actual
that
patents
have
that
been
exist.
approved by patents. Exactly.
Dago Swag.
You can't make a housewife out of a whore.
What? What is that?
That's a T-shirt brand. Home cooking biscuit head.
Okay, whatever.
Terry has a subscription to this. Teensdoporn.com.
That was really one of the ones that you could have said on air.
What?
All right,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay, but
I need to stop trusting your judgment.
18, 19,
okay.
it's like it's squiggly on the line.
Not for us anymore, though.
No, yeah.
I love that. By the way, did you notice, Terry, that somehow in our lifetime, MILFs just became women?
And probably the one that Washington is going to use to defend their name, All Natural My Dad's Nuts Caramelized Jumbo Redskins.
Okay, but that's a good name.
I do love that the defense is, oh look, other people are also shitty, so let us be shitty. So
that sounds like a Dan Snyder move, though.
It does.
It's such. Dan Snyder calls
Other
assistant.
franchises
Get me
are
every
cheap.
single stupid name, like similar to ours. But she's like, but you're just admitting your name's stupid. Go fuck yourself. You're fired.
I love that. I also love that somebody at the patents office just got exposed for not actually reading the shit. They just approve it and take the money, right?
Teensdoporn.com.
They just approve it and take the money.
Dago Swag I think it's the word.
Dago Swag is pretty bad.
Dago Swag.
It's legitimately racist.
What's Kraka Ass Skateboarding? What is it?
It's white people skateboarding.
No, I know that. Okay.
All right, and last one.
Be ironic if it was like a black guy that owned the company. Go.
A-OK. You guys remember the stupid game where someone would make a little circle, put it underneath their
white
waist, and
power,
you would smack them into Charlie horse? Apparently, if you do that for legit purposes, you're now a white supremacist.
So, did you see the video of the protest? And there's like a line of cops, and there's this one old guy. He's kind of yelling at the cops, and one of the cops like kind of looks around to see if there's a camera, and then looks at him and gives him the sign. Like, that's why the people cancel. I mean, it's stupid, but if you're gonna take away anything that is hateful, then take it away.
Take away the thumbs up. The thumbs up is the most passive aggressive social media emoji. Emojis need to be restricted to smiley face, hard eyes, flirty face, eggplant. That's all you need.
What about peaches? You got peach for the ass.
Oh yeah, peach for the ass. Peach
And
for the
cherry.
ass. 5
cherries for the tits.
Cherries. I mean, it might be color related.
Point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
There
sexual.
might be racial issues there. You never know.
And they did it on purpose. The way they do it, it looks like it's like a side shot, a side boob.
It's pretty smart.
They're smart. That's it. 45 minutes. Boom, on the nose.
We're going to skip the TikTok stuff because we got something to do after this.
It's okay. I'm way too old to even
How
talk
this?
about
as
TikTok.
As we're signing off, you explain the TikTok thing, and we'll insult you.
I know one of them.
Do you guys know what TikTok is?
Barely.
Yes, of course. It's a video. This
is going to take a while.
It's New Vine. Got it.
Not New Vine. It's where 18-year-olds make millions for no reason.
Basically, exactly that. There's been a bunch of drama because, of course, now it's a new place to create drama.
Oh my God,
there
I
was
don't care.
Snapchat, there was Instagram, and now you have TikTok where you can record yourself.
What's the worst part of the drama?
There's the two houses versus each other. There's like a bunch of two groups of TikTokers. One called Sway House. The other one called Hype. It's called a Hype House, and they hate each other. There's that. There's also they started their own cryptocurrency. It's called Dastro Coin or something like that. It's just TikTok is obviously trying to infiltrate our fucking our politics.
Yeah, I know, but I was more excited about who was sleeping with who.
Oh, yeah, so that's the thing. The two houses they started because one of them tried to bang the other one's girlfriend. But they're all 18-year-olds, man. Like, you're not getting married to these people.
Yeah. Plus, that's what 18-year-olds do.
They just bang each other, and then they get COVID and herpes, and it spreads for like wildfire for the next fucking 1,600 years.
Well, maybe you've been herpes. I've been peas. You've been eagle. You've been Terry, and you've been listening to Hot Sauce Sports. That's what happens when you're in the studio, Eagle. That's what happens.